Hi folks, Rodney here again. I wanted to do a real quick video on the new bike here. This is a 2021 KTM 350 XCF. I've done some upgrades to the bike and also wanted to talk about the KTM Connectivity Unit. I'm going to start there. You'll read articles and they say that the KTM Connectivity Unit is only available on the SXF models, and that's actually not true. I saw a review that was done on the Caleb Russell edition, and so I knew that there had to be a way for it to be available to the other models as well. So they'll tell you that you need to have it initiated at the dealership. And part of that is true. They're only trying to find out that you have the latest firmware update. But then the other piece is just plug and play. So I'm going to show you what it looks like here. So there's the connectivity unit there. There's other videos out there as far as an install and what you need to do, and so I'm not going to take the time to go through that, but I did want to mention that, like I said, the connectivity unit is available to the other models as well. It's only for 4-strokes right now, and it does have to be a 2021 model in order for it to work. The one thing I did want to mention about that, when you go into the My KTM app, you're going to have to designate that your bike is actually an SXF model, and don't be alarmed by that because it is. It's the same ECU, it's the same wiring harness, so there's no difference in that respect. The mapping might be a little bit different with the XCF models, but there again, you can always remap it according to the KTM app to get it the way you want. Now, other people have mentioned this as well. It's only going to remap map 1. And so map 1 is still there. It just builds another map for it. Map 2 will always be the same, so you can't change map 2. That's the aggressive map. And then, of course, your traction control. One of the things that I found with the stock maps, the number 1 map, is that there is so much engine braking. It's amazing. I have a YZ450FX right there, and it didn't have anywhere near as much engine braking as what this 350 did. And so I'm glad that with the connectivity app that I can go in and remap, map 1 to reduce some of that engine braking in it. Okay, let's talk about some of the upgrades on the bike. I always put the ASV unbreakable levers. I had one quick tip over. I did a video on talking about, will the 350 stall, and yes, it'll stall. So you definitely, if you're doing any tight technical stuff, you definitely need to clutch it a little bit, or at least, feather that clutch to prevent the stalling. So I always put the ASV unbreakable levers. Of course, it comes with the ODI grips, and I like those. I'll run these for a little bit, and then I'm going to switch to the ODI IMIG 2 grips. I really like those a little bit better. Put SKDA graphics on it. Graphics actually turned out really well. I've done some graphics, and I've got, I'll give you an example here, 396 graphics here that I got for the YZ. Unfortunately, I'm not very happy with them. Got some bubbling that's happening here. I have no clue. I cleaned everything really well, and this is all brand new plastics. And then I've got another issue over here on this side where the bubbling. And I've tried to get rid of that, some bubbles in here. And I did use a blow dryer when I put them on, and so no issues with this other stuff, but obviously issues with the 396. So anyway, Yoshimura RS12. Here in the Northwest, or anybody riding in the woods has to have a spark arrestor. And so the factory stock system does not come with a spark arrestor in it, so we had to replace it. Unfortunately, in COVID times, I was just looking for a slip-on, but I couldn't find anything anywhere. And so the only system that I could find was a full system, and that was the Yoshimura stainless. And so I went on ahead and ordered that. I got that put on the bike. Man, I love this sound. It makes it a lot more throaty, and really gives it a great sound. I had a Yoshimura on my 2017 CRF 450 RX, and I loved it on that as well, and so I've been real happy. I haven't ridden the bike with the stock exhaust system, so I don't really have any way to compare, one versus the other, but I've been very happy with the Yoshimura full system here. Other than that, The forks. So I've never been a big fan of the air forks. They always seem harsh. They say that the 21 models are a lot better, but I've never ridden the 21 models. I had a set of 19 on a KTM 250 XC two-stroke, and just never liked them. So I sent it off to Into Dirt Suspension. It's down in California, and Brian did a great job setting them up for me. But what they are is they're Del Saggio hydraulic spheres, and the most comfortable fork I've ever had. It is a spring fork, but it's the most comfortable fork I've ever had on the rough, rocky stuff. It just kind of, it's like butter. It just kind of floats over the top of it. I guess they have hydraulic, what's the word I'm looking for? Hydraulic bladders, along with the sphere itself. And that really makes a difference on that really rough stuff. You can just ride, you hit a pothole, you're gonna feel it just like a regular spring fork would, but if you're going fairly slow, like we would be on the rough, rocky stuff, and it's like butter. Amazing bottoming resistance too. I've got a set of KYB on the YZ, and I think the spheres are actually a better fork for different reasons. Like I said, they're much softer. They're plush in the very beginning, but they have great bottoming resistance. And so, all in all, it's just an amazing fork. With the KTM, they come standard with just a light duty tube. So if you're riding in the woods and you're in the rocky stuff at all, you got to be careful for pinch flats. And so I have installed the heavy duty tubes on these. I've had pinch flats on my 250 XC before, and once I replaced them to the heavy duty tubes, never had any issues whatsoever. Let's see if I've done anything else to it. Oh, I did put on, and I swapped this over from the 250 XC that I had, a factory connection linkage set. The new shock, they say they have these new SKF seals in them, and so they actually are a lot more plush than what the other one was. But I've also added the linkage system to them, and if anybody's not familiar with the linkage system, the whole purpose is it gives you better traction. When you're coming into braking bumps, it has a tendency to squat a little bit more. So what it does is the pull rod's a little bit longer, and the linkage is, the geometry of it changes I don't think I can explain it properly, but it changes where you're at in the stroke to begin with. And so because of it, it rides a little bit lower in that stroke, and it gets kind of past that crusty part that a lot of people talk about. But it's a more plush, better traction. Like I said, you have better braking when you come in on the braking bumps. And so all in all, it's a great system. So I've done that as well. But other than that, I did put on an E-line carbon fiber skid plate. The skid plate is great, actually looks good. One thing I don't like about it is it causes all the motor noise to echo back up through the top of the bike. If you watch any of my videos, you'll be able to hear the noise from the motor. And these 350s do make quite a bit of noise from what I understand. I thought it was abnormal, but from what I'm being told, everything else is normal. So yesterday I took it off when I got back home from riding, put some Dynamat in there, and so I haven't had a chance to ride it since then, but we'll see if that doesn't make a big difference. I think that's about it. As far as the bike goes, I love the bike. It's amazing how much power it has. It has quite a bit of low-end torque. Some people say it pulls as hard as a 450. It revs quicker, and it does pull hard when you get in the upper RPMs. You don't have as much low-end torque for sure, but it's quicker. So I noticed on the trails that, I've looked at times on how I do the trails, and of course the 350, because you have less rotating mass like you do on the 450, it feels a lot lighter. So it's more flickable. It turns in and out of the corners a lot quicker. And then, like I said, the motor revs quicker, and so it definitely gets you into the power band quick, and then you just got that power, and you're just on your way. I would say that if I was to run time, the YZ versus the 350, I would say that this is probably quicker. I could get through the trails faster, and like I said, I've already seen that in times from my videos. So anyway, if anybody's thinking about getting a bike, You know, I mentioned this in another video the other day. I think we all want to have 450s, and it kind of helps boost our ego a little bit. But in reality, when it comes down to it, you know, are you faster on a 350 than you would be on a 450? I think most of us would probably say yes. You know, unless you're a top level rider, you race, or, you know, you've been on bikes all your life, I doubt seriously that, you know, we can really ride a 450 to anywhere near its potential. You got 49 horsepower in the 350, and you got 53 in the YZ over there. And, you know, the thing is that, and you see this with the 250s, if you look at their lap times in a motocross race, they're within a second of each other. And the big difference is, you know, the getting in and out of the corners. There again, you're always trying to prevent from hitting that power band on the 450 and then just being completely out of control. On the 350, you can run it a little bit harder. And like I said, because it turns and it's more flickable, you can pick your line choices a lot faster as well. Stability-wise, I apologize for the plane that you hear there. I live right next to an airport. Stability-wise, the 450 definitely is a little more stable. I noticed that on a couple of different situations, but it's not drastic. I had the KTM 250XC two-stroke that I mentioned, and that thing just seemed like it just kind of bounced all over the place. And I've noticed that this 350, even though the weight is almost identical, you know, seems a lot more stable. So it's been a great bike all the way around. I think that's about it, guys. If you guys have any questions, please let me know how I can help. But I'm really loving the bike so far. So anyway, hope this might help somebody. If you know of anybody that is thinking about getting a 350, please like and subscribe and share this video with them. If you have any questions regarding the connectivity app or connectivity unit, please let me know how I can help. All right, take care.